Rise and grind. The early bird gets the worm. Time is money. Work hard, play hard. No pain, no gain. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Hi, my name is Lena, and today we are going to tackle the toxicity of hustle culture and how you can take back control of your life. I think we need to first define what is hustle culture exactly? How did it come to be? And why is this generation seemingly so obsessed with it? So it's speculated that hustle culture began during the entrepreneurial boom of the 90s and early 2000s. Thanks to a type of private equity investing known as venture capital, this essentially turned Silicon Valley into what we know it today, a paradigm for technological and economic success. Google and Facebook skyrocketed and the norm of long work hours began. The secret to success, according to some founders, work hard. And when you think you've worked your hardest, push harder. But this was just the beginning. Enter the late 2000s to the early 2010s era, and we now have our very own homemade celebrities in the form of YouTubers, Instagrammers, influencers, bloggers, and whatever else in between. Something we are all very familiar with today. I recently watched a very interesting podcast. It's called Afterglow, and it's hosted by Phan. Now, if you don't know who Phan is, she is an OG YouTuber. She pioneered makeup tutorials to what we know it today. She essentially influenced the creation of influencing. So we have a lot to thank her for in the creator entrepreneurial space. In this episode titled How to Build Wealth, she's invited Vivian Tu, or better known as Your Rich BFF, another content creator who rose to fame thanks to her vast financial literacy, which she shares with her millions of followers across platforms. Now, this entire conversation was brilliant, and I genuinely feel like it's worth a watch or listen, however you consume your podcast. But now, you might be wondering, the title of this podcast and the title of this video sound a little contradicting. But let me share this clip with you guys.
I think there's so much entrepreneurship on the internet.
Oh, totally.
Where they're
That's such a good,
like the hustle, you gotta do the thing, you gotta have your own company. It's like, do you actually understand that the vast majority of millionaires do it the slow way? They have a W-2 job, they get paid well, they spend less than they get paid, and they invest the difference, and by the time they retire, they have a couple $1,000,000.
Yeah.
That is the most dependable track to have financial success. Being an entrepreneur is high risk, but potential high return. And before people do this, you actually have to think about how much you love what you are about to embark on.
You
because
have to.
It will not be sunshine and rainbows every single day. It'll actually be, most days, thunderstorms and hail.
Yep.
So in this portion of the podcast, they essentially talk about the over-glamorization of being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, starting your own business. And if you're a content creator, you're also looped into this, okay? Content creation is a business now. Let's just make that clear. So much of what we see online now are these carefully curated snippets of, day in the life of a business owner. They wake up at the crack of dawn. It's always 5 a.m. Why these people feel compelled to always wake up at 5 a.m., I don't know. But they're up. They're making their coffee, they're making their breakfast, doing a full workout, having a shower, hair and makeup's done, they're dressed to the nines, and they would have had a whole week's worth of productivity done before you even get up for your morning piss. Now, how about that? Not only are they getting up early and being hyper-productive each day, they always have these high-rise apartments with a view, luxury car, designer bags and shoes, vacationing in places with the clearest waters. And it just looks like a dream. I mean, everybody wants this, right?
I mean, what if I don't want to live the way you live?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
But what if I told you that working this hard isn't what it's all cracked up to be? Hustle culture is a trend, whether you want to believe it or not. And thanks to social media, trends spread like wildfire. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but the majority of us are very impressionable people. We see something being highlighted and glamorized online, and the next thing you know, if you don't get that thing, whatever it is, you're gonna feel left out. You're gonna feel unaccomplished. You're gonna think to yourself, you're not gonna feel fulfilled until you have that. But I have seen time and time again the downfall of unsustainable hustle. All those sleepless nights, all those clocked in hours, it will catch up to you and it can destroy you. It's called burnout. The World Health Organization describes occupational burnout as the occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed, with symptoms characterized by feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion, increased mental distance from one's job, or feelings of negativism or cynicism related to one's job, and reduced professional efficacy. Burnout is not exclusive to hustle culture, and hustle culture is not exclusive to being an entrepreneur. It can happen to everyone. I used to be a store manager at a shop, and I experienced that hustle. I experienced that burnout. This was a job that I genuinely loved. And it got to the point where I took on so much responsibility that it trampled on my passion for my work. So we can see that hustle culture is not a unique case. And it's possible that you're going through it right now if you're watching this. So the question is, how do we get out of this? I'm going to show you guys a diagram right here, okay? This is called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, you might have seen this before in your Psychology 101 class, but if you've never seen this, let me break it down for you real quick. Think of this diagram as like the food pyramid for your psychological and physiological well-being. This chart is broken down into 3 main parts: your basic needs, your psychological needs, and your self-fulfillment needs. We start at the bottom with your basic needs, such as food, water, and shelter. And as we move up the pyramid, we're introduced to things that add both value and enrichment to our lives, such as community and achievements. And then eventually we get to the top, which is self-actualization. Now, raise your hand if you've ever asked yourself, what's the meaning of life? It's believed that most people actually never fully reach the level of self-actualization. The top of this pyramid is basically what we spend our entire lives finding: meaning and purpose. And I feel like a lot of us have misinterpreted the journey to the top of this pyramid, because nowhere on there do I see a stack of money or a Lamborghini. If we strip everything away, the glitz, the glam, the money and status, what are we? The key here is to actually move back down the pyramid. Go back to the things that make living bearable. We work so hard to get to the next best thing. We are constantly surrounded by people who are surpassing us in every way possible. Oh, your coworker just bought a brand new car. Your friend just booked a vacation to Paris. Your sister bought a brand new Louis Vuitton bag. Yeah, it's easy to feel bad about yourself when you can't keep up with the constant upscaling of lifestyles. And what this does is it puts you at war with yourself every day. Why am I not working hard enough? Why am I not in a higher position? Why don't I own my own business? This is simply a fight or flight response. We see this imminent lack of achievement, and social expectations expect us to not run away from our problems, and we are forced to face it. We're forced to fight it. And this fight is us working ourselves to the bone. You can't enjoy the fruits of your labor if you are not present. Instead of desiring more possession, learn to be content with what you do have. If money is of concern to you, instead of thinking I need to keep trying to make more money, why not instead spend less? Now, I'm not trying to tell you to get rid of all your worldly possessions, or that you can't have anything nice or enjoy the finer things in life. But your lifestyle and aspirations may just be the thing that is the cause of your stress and anxiety. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to dissuade you from following your dreams, or that being an entrepreneur is bad for you, because I still want that for myself. It's very rewarding getting to be your own boss. But what I am trying to say is that I'm willing to make some sacrifices. You will have to make a choice to sacrifice some potential success so that you can live and experience your own life. In fact, you may find that there may be even more success waiting for you if you learn to take some time for yourself. I was actually going to add some more quotes from the book Ikigai and The Artist's Way, which I do love both of these books, by the way, and I do really recommend them. But let's skip the intellectual jargon and just say it as it is. I'm tired, and I know you're tired too. I want to be able to sleep in. I want to be able to take a day off. I want to be able to just sit in my house and look out the window and just appreciate that I'm here. There are so many moments throughout our day and our lives that people just gloss over. The art of finding joy in the mundane seems so lost in our current generation. Everything has to be content now. Everything needs to be Instagrammable or whatever. And yes, I make content, but I don't subject every moment of my life to it. In fact, there's a lot that happens off screen that no one will ever see. And it's the most beautiful that way, because these moments are mine. I've given up the control of having to live up to expectations. I've given up on having everything live on a timeline. I mean, some of history's greatest works were created with time, over time. Whoever said a masterpiece was rushed? There's no shame in going at your own pace. There's no shame in just being an employee and taking your free time for yourself. You don't need to climb the corporate ladder to feel fulfilled. And to be quite frank, it's not really that fun. Trust me, I've been there. You don't need to be a boss. You don't need to be a CEO. Listen, I've had a lot of different jobs in my life so far. And I had so much more fun just being a simple server at a local ramen restaurant than I ever did being a manager. You just need to make sure that you make enough money to take care of the things that you need, and with all that extra time, invest in yourself. And investing in yourself doesn't have to be monetary, by the way. It could be sitting on your couch, binge watching your favorite show, or playing your favorite video game. It could be a relaxing hobby of gardening. It could finally be reading that book that you've been putting off forever. It could simply be catching up with your friends and family. The point is, the moments you spend away from your work are the most valuable times you will ever get. The main takeaway I want you guys to have from this is do not make your life your work, and don't make your work your life. This can be a bit confusing because which way is it? The truth is, make your life your work and make your work your life is two sides of the same coin. But no matter how many times you flip a penny, it's still just a penny. Whether you make your work your life or your life your work, it's all the same. You know how people love to say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. If you've ever worked towards any of your passions, you'll know how much more work it actually is. I'm gonna give you an example. I love working out. Lifting weights is a huge passion and interest of mine. And I can't tell you how many times I've been asked or approached about becoming a personal trainer. But I know myself well enough that if I were to pursue this as a career, I would lose my love for it. Working out is something that I keep for me and me alone. It's the one hobby that I hold absolutely no obligations to. Listen, hustle culture can be very addictive. Having more and more success stacked up every time you put in more effort is really hard to walk away from. But you need to be able to disconnect. You need to take time for yourself. Step away from responsibility and obligation. Learn to just enjoy yourself guilt-free. Work will always be there, but you only have one body, one mind. And the things that we do to nurture ourselves are the things that make life worth living. Work a double shift, or sit on my couch and try to finish the main story of Monster Hunter in one sitting. I'm a hunting horn main, by the way. Doot doot. Anyway, try to do more things that bring you joy. Reach out to your friends and family. Get a full night's rest. Do some exercise. And eat all your meals. It's time to take back control of your life. And with that, we've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any hustle culture experience or stories, share them down below. And if you're feeling like you need a little bit more encouragement, check out this video here next. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!